Today we're going to be talking to Coach Alyssa May, and she is going to share some beautiful thoughts about her own experience in her weight loss journey, but three critical weight loss tips. So stick around to the end to catch those as well. So let's meet Alyssa May. Hi, Alyssa May.
Hi, Susie.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Now, we are going to pick your brains a little bit and get your best weight loss tips. But before we get into that, we're just wondering, because I believe you've had your own personal weight loss experience. So I'm just wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I got married at my heaviest weight that I have ever been. People often say that they want to lose weight to get back into their wedding dress. Well, I hope that I never, ever fit back into that thing ever again. So my before photo is actually on my honeymoon. And then I got back and just felt awful about myself and joined a gym. And I had never heard of Healthy Inspirations. I think I was 22, 23 when I started on my weight loss journey. So I was just sort of muddling through it on my own, realized that I loved health and fitness. I loved the way that trainers could make women feel. So I went down that path of sort of getting into the industry, and then I found Healthy Inspirations. And so Healthy Inspirations helped me get off probably the last 5 or 6 kilos, which notoriously are the hardest ones to shift. So yeah, and then so I was working here and doing the program, which obviously helps, but that's a very small snapshot of how it all worked.
Okay, fantastic. And so you said once you came to Healthy Inspirations, it really helped you. Can you tell us a little bit more about Healthy Inspirations, how that was different to doing it by yourself or just being in a gym?
Yeah, so because I sort of had no guidance, I was calorie counting essentially, and that's how I was losing weight. So I had no real education on health or how foods could make me feel. So it wasn't until I started the ICT Reset program when I joined Healthy Inspirations as a coach that I realized, oh, actually, I was feeling really bloated and sluggish and heavy and disgusting because I was eating terrible foods. I was sort of just limiting portions, I guess, but still not eating very well. So when I came to Healthies, I started eating regularly. I was eating way more often than I had ever eaten before in my life. And then I was able to stop tracking calories, which was actually a huge stress off my mind. Yes, not having to be so anal about how many calories does this have, how many calories does that have, and tracking it all. And it was a bit overwhelming. So the freedom of not having to do that and eating all the time, and I love meat, so I could eat quite a bit of protein. Yeah, it was great. It was really freeing, and the bloating is like one of the most instant things that I noticed the reduction of, which was fantastic.
They are some wonderful comments. Thank you. So then tell us, how much did you lose in total? Do you know?
Yeah, so I lost 14 kilos in total. From the before and after kind of photos. And then I've maintained around 11 to a 13 kilo loss. So 14 kilos was probably a bit much. I got a bit excited and I couldn't really live the happy life that I wanted to live. So I've agreed to put a couple of kilos on and sort of have that balance. So yeah, I maintain around sort of 12 kilos, I would say.
Okay, great. Now that you've gone through that experience and continuing to maintain that weight, are there any things that you would be doing now that you wouldn't have ever thought of doing before you'd lost the weight?
Absolutely. Wear a bikini or show my stomach at all in any capacity. I had fully accepted that that was just not in the cards for me. Even before sort of my wedding, when I was smaller, it was just this kind of a body image thing that I just accepted that I was not a bikini person. And well, I'm preaching to everybody that we're all bikini people, and hell yes. So I love that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, obviously much more comfortable in your skin as well, which is what we want.
Yeah.
That is great. So tell us, how many years now have you been coaching women?
I've been a health coach for 7.5 years. So November this year will be 8. Yeah.
Okay. Happy anniversary. So when you were going through your weight loss journey at the start with Healthy Inspirations and being on the ICT Reset program, how was the weekly coaching? How did that really benefit you?
So Nola, who is the owner of Prospect, was my health coach. And I think initially she was just doing it so that I could learn how to be a health coach and what it feels like to be on the other side of it, which was extremely helpful in that regard. But also I was able to then lose those few extra kilos with that accountability with Nola. So I do appreciate that in terms of being a health coach, because I know what it feels like to be on the other side of the desk, which I think is helpful. Yeah.
So then what difference has that accountability of the weekly coaching made to the members that you now coach?
It's a world of difference. So I think because we're all like a little bit cheeky every now and then. And so I think most of us try to toe the line of how much we can get away with. So seeing me every week means that even if you're a bit cheeky, you could probably only be cheeky for a couple of days, and then you've got to pull your socks up because you're seeing me. So I find that the longer it is in between those accountability coaching sessions, actually increases the amount of cheeky days you have. So the regularity of weekly sessions, I think, makes a world of difference.
Yeah, gets everybody back on track quicker and keeps them focused on their goals. So they can still, be a bit cheeky, but
you can be cheeky, but just not for too long.
That's it. That's a key message. And so when you meet women who are wanting to start their own weight loss journey, what kind of struggles do they share with you?
So physically, the pretty common trait is that most women are unhappy with the fat that settles around their midsection. So physically, that's probably the most common thing. But also, most commonly, they are not prioritizing themselves correctly. So we all hear about putting ourselves first and things. And I sort of think we don't actually have to put ourselves first. We just have to make ourselves as important as the other loved ones in our life. So it's not about making us better or more important. It's just as important. So, priorities seem to be a little bit skewed in the wrong direction when women first come in to see me. And just sort of perceived convenience. So when they're tired or when they're stressed or overwhelmed, it can seem easier to make a piece of toast, but actually getting some ham and some cherry tomatoes is less effort. So it's just this perceived effort that comes with eating well or eating healthy or eating for weight loss. So I think that's a helpful kind of mindset shift to get when you first sort of start a program.
So then obviously, that's another point of why that weekly coaching is so valuable, because you can get those tips on how to overcome those struggles or set up new habits so that it's simple. That the member doesn't have to come up with the ideas because it's already done for them, which is
absolutely
what you need when you're changing habits. You need that cheerleading.
Yeah. And sometimes we all have, there's so much education out there now with social media and the internet and phones and stuff. So it's not a lack of education. Sometimes you just need someone to say it. It can be the most obvious thing, but you just need someone else to say, hey, remember? And then you're like, yeah, that's right, I remember. And you're good.
Yeah, that's it. Great point. So a lot of women who want to lose weight sort of turn to exercise. What are your thoughts on using exercise as a way to lose weight?
So weight loss is 80% nutrition. I sort of sometimes think it's actually 90% nutrition. So I think you need to view exercise as a way to potentially boost your results. But primarily, exercise is for mental health, I feel. And I think if you have exercise that day, you are more likely to make good eating decisions because you feel better about yourself and you feel better in general. So that just makes you more able to make those good decisions and keep feeding that good energy. Sometimes I like to tell my women that the food you eat will make you look good in clothes and the exercise you do will make you look good naked. So that's up to you.
Sorry, I just need to get over that for a minute.
Yeah.
That is great. Wow, that is an insight I didn't think we were going to get today. So that is great. Okay. Yeah, and so I guess that what you said about nutrition being 80 or 90%, you lived that yourself, didn't you? Because, you were trying to do what you could, but you just didn't have the right knowledge and the right support. And once you got that, it was sort of a breeze to you to lose the weight and then to maintain
Yeah.
it.
Absolutely. And if I'm perfectly honest, even though I'm a fitness instructor, I exercise less now than I did when I was at my heaviest. I was exercising every single day, minimum 1 hour, very high intensity, which I love. I love exercising. I enjoyed it. But in terms of weight loss, if you are not feeding your body the correct things, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, right. Okay. So there's the key point. So don't flog yourself, everybody. Just go to Healthy Inspiration.
That's right. Just see me for 15 minutes. You'll be good.
There you go. So can you just sum up for us what would be your biggest insight or change of beliefs in relation to food and weight loss?
I think understanding that there are many ways to lose weight. In fact, even at Healthy Inspirations, we have a few eating programs that you can do. So I think the number one thing is to find one that works for you and be really consistent with it. Because even the programs that we have here, if you try to chop and change and do a couple, you won't get results. So consistency is the key. It's all about the food you eat. So try to find a plan that sort of incorporates the food you love into a weight loss program so that you are more likely to be consistent. But absolutely, consistency is the thing.
Okay, and so finally, can we please get your favorite 3 best weight loss tips from your own experience and from all your coaching experience?
Yeah. So number one is failure to plan. You plan to fail. So planning is absolutely paramount. So I don't plan too far in advance. I like to wake up that morning or the night before and plan just that day because I find anything else overwhelming. But I still plan that whole day and when I'm going to eat and what.
So when you're saying planning, is it just your food or other things as well for the day?
So mainly food. I'm talking about planning because I need that planning of when I'm going to eat and what, especially with irregular work hours. But absolutely, I would recommend taking that planning into exercise and when you are going to move your body, whether that's coming into the centre or going for a walk with the dog or with a friend or something. So, yeah, I would plan that also.
But more so the food, just making sure you're getting that right fuel.
Sure.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Great. So what's tip number 2 for us?
Tip number 2 is that one off-plan meal does not have to mean a second or a third or a fourth or a fifth. So say you've started off the day with pancakes out at a restaurant with all the trimmings. That doesn't mean that the whole day is over and that you've ruined the whole day or even the whole week. Or the very next meal, you just get back on track and you eat what you were supposed to be eating. And then that doesn't mess you up for the whole week. So put it in the past. I hope you enjoyed those pancakes. They were probably delicious. And then move on and have your beautiful salad or soup or stew or whatever you've made for lunch.
Yep. Okay, great. Great point. And tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is very difficult in my experience as a health coach. It is to love yourself every step of the journey, because what I've found is if you don't love yourself now, you probably won't actually love yourself at your goal weight, because that's a mindset thing. It's not actually a physical thing. So learning to do that through the whole process is difficult but extremely important, and actually has a better success rate that you will maintain your goal weight at the end. If you can sort of love yourself now and during, then you'll be okay at the end. Also, buy yourself new clothes whenever you need them. Don't wait until you reach your goal weight and you're walking around in baggy clothes for 10 months or something. Don't do that. Buy new clothes all the time.
That's not making yourself feel loved.
Yes, correct. Show off all of your progress all the time. Yeah.
Oh, what wonderful insights. Thank you so much, Alyssa May.
No problem.
And so I guess if you had a friend or someone you knew that came up to you and said, "Hey, Alyssa May, look, I think I really need to do something about my weight. You know, I don't know what to do. Do I join a program or what do I do?" What would you say to them?
I would say have a really hard think about what you need to get you your results. Most of the time we need accountability, but for me it's sort of, I need a cheerleader and I need someone in my corner. So for me that's what I try to be here at Healthy Inspirations. I want to be someone's champion, and I want to be proud of them and happy for them and just so in awe of these women. So I would say find someone like that. Find your champion. And that could be your husband, it could be your sister, it could be anybody, but somebody who really wants to see you win and succeed as much as you do.
Fantastic. I love that that's your goal when you go into work each day, to be a champion for members at Health Inspirations. That's beautiful. I love it.
Yeah,
I'm inspired.
I think we have a very important job. We're women's only, and a lot of women can be underappreciated. So I want to overappreciate them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I guess, if anyone's sort of missing that cheerleader in their life, then they know where to go. Come and see Alyssa May.
But the whole environment, Healthy Inspirations as a whole, is a beautiful environment to be in, very positive.
Wonderful. Fantastic. All right. Well, Alyssa May, thank you so much for sharing your experience, sharing your insights, sharing your love for your members and for your work. We just really appreciate all of your beautiful spirit.
No worries. It's my pleasure. I love it here.
Great. Thanks for watching. So if you like that video, obviously give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends and your family and everybody you know. But more importantly, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can catch all of the weight loss tips in the future. And we'll see you on the next video.